Welcome to economics. We're going to be learning about the PPC, the production possibilities curve. The production possibilities curve is a simple curve that details how a country spends its resources on producing certain goods. Country C produces potatoes and watermelons. Say country C only has 100 resources to spend. It can only allocate those resources in a certain way, either by producing a certain amount of potatoes or a certain amount of watermelons. And when it spends maybe 75 goods on producing potatoes, then it can only spend 25 on watermelons. There's an inverse relationship with them, and that's described by this linear curve here. When you produce more watermelons, you have to produce less potatoes because you only have a certain amount of resources to spend. Now we have 3 points on the graph here. Point A, point B, and point C. Point A is a point inside the curve, which means that the country isn't effectively spending all of its resources and it's producing at less than optimal quantities. Point B is a point on the curve, which means it's producing at its most efficient point when it's using all resources to produce a certain amount of potatoes and watermelons. Then point C is a point outside of the curve, which means that it's not possible because they don't have enough resources to produce that amount. Alright, and then earlier down here we have a little bit more of a bowed out curve, and that happens when we use goods that aren't related to each other, so it's not a 1-1 relationship or a linear relationship between producing potatoes and dreidels as we have here. We have the same idea with point A, B, and C, where producing suboptimally, producing optimally, and impossible production. Now we have certain shifters of the PPC. These shifters include changes in quantity of certain goods that we use to produce these potatoes, watermelons, dreidels, whatever, or changes in technology, which can either shift the curve out or in based on whether it makes it easier to produce them or harder to produce them. That's the PPC for you.